What's that?
We'll call to order the Stephenville Special Town Council meeting agenda for Monday, May 6, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. Janelle, would you take the roll call, please?
Councilmember Barker? Here. Councilmember Brown? Here. Councilmember Nelson?
Here.
Councilmember Smith?
Here.
Mayor Michelson?
Here. Would you all please stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So before I get to cover public comments, I'd like to read this here. Oh, even before that, I would like, with the council's permission, I would like to have Janelle read a correspondence letter. That would be okay?
Ready?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
May 6, 2024, Stevensville Town Council members. At the April 25th, 2024 Town Council meeting, I, the mayor, pardoned a citizen from receiving a citation. After much thought, I have realized that I have followed my heart and not the law, and have learned a valuable lesson. I realize that I do not have the authority to pardon anyone for anything other than local ordinances and misdemeanors. As of May 2nd, 2024, I have returned the citation to the Stevensville Police Chief, and he has reissued the citation to that citizen, who will appear in court on May 22nd, 2024. Thank you, Bob Michelson, Mayor.
Thank you, Janelle.
You're welcome.
And also, before we get to public comments, I'd like to read this public participation on the MCA. 2-3-103, public participation. Governor to ensure guidelines adopted, procedures for publishing notice. Item C. The agenda must include an item allowing public comment on any public matter that is not on the agenda of the meeting and that is within the jurisdiction of the agency conducting the meeting. So what that basically means is, last time these citizens got up and they spoke, it really, they shouldn't have been able to because it was not a council matter or an executive matter, it was a judicial matter. It's over and said, but this time, since it is not a council matter anymore, it's not an executive matter, and the ticket has been given back and has now become a judicial matter, then I will not allow public comments on anything within that scope. And if you do allow public comments, I'd like to limit it to 3 minutes, please. Okay? Thank you. So with that, I'll take public comments on anything that's not on the agenda.
None here.
Okay, we'll move on to unfinished business. Item A, discussion. Property located at 523 East 3rd Street, Stevensville, Montana, Berta Farms. With your permission, I'd like to have Mr. Overstreet come and give us an overview.
Oh, yeah. Move my broken table.
Hi, everyone. The Berta Farms case is what we'll call it. It was filed many years ago. In 2018, then Mayor Dewey dismissed the case, and it cooked and chugged along, and the citizens, Mel Cook and others, filed a case to have a nuisance abated, and it chugged along, and then recently on February 14th, Valentine's Day, that's how I can remember it, Judge Lint issued an opinion and said that the town is ordered to abate the nuisance, and went into some detail about what the nuisance is. The wrinkle in all of this was the town wasn't a party to the lawsuit, so the town could not be part of the court order because we were not currently, as of now, a party. So, with the mayor's permission, I filed a motion in the state Supreme Court. I should back up. The Berta's Farms people filed an appeal in the Supreme Court. So the trial court no longer has jurisdiction. And I then filed a motion in the Supreme Court to allow the town to become a party to follow the court's order. And it was very, very unusual for somebody to come to any court, including the Supreme Court, and say, there's a court order out there, we would like to be part of it. The reason we would like to be part of it is we are protected from liability if we are ordered by a court to do something. So we want to be part of the order. So the Supreme Court granted that, and the town is now part of the case. So I just got done, and this gets confusing, I just got done saying that the trial court doesn't have any more jurisdiction. There's an exception to that. Trial court can issue a stay, which is basically pausing its own ruling while an appeal is going on. Burtis Farm asked Judge Lint to stay the abatement order back in April, and Judge Lint turned it down, and in a move I've never seen before in 31 years, Burtis Farm came right back and filed a second identical motion for a stay that had been turned down. And this is where the town gets involved. So there's this motion for a stay, and in that motion, the second one, sorry, this is confusing. In the second one, Burtis Farm said, they attached a letter from April 15th, and they said, the town is fine with everything. The town has no beef, basically. And that was really surprising to me because the town most certainly does have a beef and wants to abate the nuisance, as we've been ordered by a court to do. So I looked at the letter. It was sent to Town Hall, where I don't receive mail. And the weird thing is, Burtis Farm's lawyer knew what my address was because I had filed a Supreme Court motion, so it was right there. Again, I've never seen this in 31 years, somebody saying, we have no dispute when we most certainly do. The letter on April 15th was a recap of the site visit with Council President Brown and Mayor Michelson. And it went through the issues that the Burtis Farm people talked about. Nobody on the town side said, oh, it's okay, just mow the grass and we don't have a problem here. That's absurd. Obviously, there's a dispute here. And so I kind of unloaded on the Burtis Farm lawyer in a motion to Judge Lint, and said that Burtis Farm lawyer is clearly misleading the court. There is a very active dispute, and I said the town will gladly comply with the order we're now a part of. So that is the background. We've told the court that we want to comply with the order that we're now a part of. And so I think this proposed RFP is the mechanism to make that happen. Happy to answer any questions. Yes.
So as of right now, we're good to go?
Yes, that's great. We are legally able to enter the property and do the abatements. The Burtis Farm lawyer threatened the town with a federal civil rights lawsuit if we entered the property. That was before the Supreme Court let us in to the case and made us part of the order. I presume that threat is no longer active because we're now part of the order. And the town was very reluctant to go and enter people's property if we weren't part of a court order that said that we have to. So I think that problem is avoided, and we can abate the nuisance. The order talks about 60 days. I'm not sure as a practical matter if that's going to be possible, especially since we're doing an RFP. I would imagine that Judge Lint would be very accommodating. I don't think on day 60, we're somehow in trouble for not having abated it because we had to take a little detour to the Supreme Court. So that ate up a lot of time, a couple of weeks.
Have you ever seen
No.
the Supreme Court get involved with garbage?
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to ask if I ever seen anybody claim that there was no dispute when there most certainly
yeah,
is.
you said that.
But yeah, no, it's very unusual for the Supreme Court to allow somebody to enter a Supreme Court case when they weren't in the case below, but we kind of were in the case below until 2018 when then Mayor Dewey sought to and did have it dismissed. So, and I get questions from the area homeowners. They say, why aren't you guys doing something right now? Well, we've got an RFP, which is something that needs to be done. I didn't know about this until I got here, but that's okay. So that's one good reason. Another good reason is if we started an ordinance procedure, which we can do, we would be tied up for, I don't know, another 5 to 10 years. It would go from the city court to the district court to the Supreme Court. And my idea is that we're already in the Supreme Court. We've sort of cut ahead in line. We might as well go with the case that is already at the Supreme Court level. So that's what we're doing.
So what happens, obviously, we've got it all lined out here, what happens if he comes back, or the property owner comes back full force, with threats towards these people that are going in, on the property to help remove this stuff? What does that look like? Has he been told that he cannot, interact with these people, or what's the guideline for that, I guess?
It would be a law enforcement matter, number one. And number two, I sent a letter several weeks ago saying the town will abide by the order. This is before we were actually part of the order. And I said, we will abide by the order, and I needed the assurance of Berta Farms' lawyer that they would not hinder, whatever word I use, our access. If there is force, violence, something like that, it's a law enforcement matter. It would be contempt of court. So that would be another proceeding, and it would be at the district court level because it's contempt of a district court order. The Supreme Court doesn't really do that kind of stuff. So there would be ways to handle it legally, and it would not go well for anybody thwarting us carrying out an order that we have been ordered by the Supreme Court, in effect, to carry out.
I guess I just see the safety of several, because I see that this gentleman could come back full force at us, and that's where I'm kind of.
Yeah, I don't get into the law enforcement side of stuff, but I think it's a valid concern.
Go ahead, Cindy.
So my question is, we're going to put this out for bid. I'm pretty sure we probably don't have the money in our coffers to pay for this. And I did read the order, but I don't remember if the judge ordered the way for the payment process. Is there?
Yes. Yeah, the judge said that we can, and I looked at the statutes and they exist and they're relatively commonly used. There's a statute, and I believe an ordinance, but at least a statute that says we can assess the costs of the cleanup as a lien on the property and then presumably sell the property if we had to,
So,
which might solve this problem for good.
correct, that would, so do we have a time period? Are we going to have to put a notice of claim in on the property and then file the actual lien? Or can we go ahead and put the lien on right away when we get the bid back?
We don't have any bids yet, so we don't even know what that dollar amount is, unfortunately.
I would assume
Yeah.
that once we have an outlay of money, and I've been keeping track of my time separately with the tag Ray Berta Farms, and it says that attorney's fees are part of this too. So I guess we already have an expense. But it's not nearly as much as the abatement is. Once we have that expenditure, we could file a lien and then keep amending it. I've done that before, amending liens with new amounts.
Correct, I've seen the amended liens. I didn't know if in this process is the same process like a mechanics lien, and we would have to file that notice of right to claim lien first for that statute or not.
Yeah, the statute about liens for nuisance abatement, it's very vague. It just talks about we have a lien and we can foreclose on it like you can foreclose on any lien. And mechanics lien, well, construction lien statute is very detailed, and there's no such detail in this. I think these liens happen a lot more infrequently than construction liens, which happen, as you know, daily.
Correct. Okay, that was my question. Most part was the money side of it.
Okay, I do have two things. I've sent 2 emails. The first one was to Thomas Orr this morning, who is Frank's attorney. Public Works will begin mowing on our right-of-way property starting next Tuesday. And also next Wednesday. I notified Thomas Orr that our building inspector will do an on-site inspection on the structure, which Thomas Orr has already They'll be ready to do. I'm here. So that's what's going on in my hand.
So one other question, how much are the other parties involved? Like, obviously we have Lowy Knapp, we have Mel Cook, Pat Gronker, those properties, and McKinley, isn't it?
Mel
Susan
Cook.
Evans, Mel Cook, yeah. How heavily involved are they right now with this? Because I know they have said if we don't do something as a town, they were going to go after the town with that.
I
So
kept them
have they,
abreast.
have they kind of,
Yeah,
backed
that's why they're
off
not
a
here. I
little bit?
kept them abreast. I made them copies of this. I went over and talked to Mel and Pat. So
Okay.
everybody's on the same page of what's going on.
okay,
Right up to today.
perfect.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll adjourn.
That was easy.
Councilman, we brought it over.
The
Private.